Again, neurologists, most of neurologists, cardiologists, orthopediologists, orthopedician, pediatrician, B.A. Sanjay, Tanushri, Danya. I want to become a dentist. Great. Great. Want to be inspired and motivated by you, sir, and pursue the dream to become a doctor. Wonderful indeed. That is by Ashwath. That's great. So it looks like that many would like to become doctors. No harm. Even others, everybody can actually present to this. And some of you would like to be what? If not other than doctor, which profession would you like to be? Or would you like to choose according to your passion? Biotechnology, great. Chartered accountant, wonderful. Architecture, creator of what? CA, chartered accountant. I want to become a singer. HP1. I want to be a psychologist. Namgul. Very good profession, psychologist. Start my own business. Hey, come on. Nobody has said the psychiatrist so far. Nobody want to be a psychiatrist? This particular platform is owned by MD Dr. Kannan Girish, who is a psychiatrist. What, Praveen? Did you tell something that Ananda will be a psychiatrist?
They'll get an inspiration, sir, once they see Dr. Kannan as well.
So great to see such wonderful brains. Very smart indeed. I want to be a pilot. Oh, great, actually. I want to be a pilot. Only thing I just want to ask the Sarvesh, what about his parents? Will they allow him to become a pilot? The pilot, this is where the passion is. And I can tell you, you must do what you love and love what you do. I remember a friend, my friend's son, who took BSc chemistry, chemical aspects in the BITS Pilani. Subsequently, he came back and then, he said, my vision is to become a pilot. And subsequently, he underwent a training, several hours of flying hours of training. And today he's an excellent pilot. You see, after all that journey to BITS Pilani, he came back and then he took it. That was the base of his mind. That passion was with him, So that, in fact, what it is. I want to be a gamer. I want to be a chemist. I want to be a gamer, online gamer. Okay, good. Now, I think for those of you people who are indecisive and those of you people who have decided, ultimately, something that reminds for each one of us, IAS. Yes, Anushka. She said IAS. Very good. Now, for all of us, you young buddings, the only aspect is start working for that particular vision. There is a vision. Vision is a distant thinking, yes, I want to be so. And then start dropping down it into your goals. I'm sure you're all in the 10th, 11th, and 12th. Am I right? Sean?
Yes, sir. I belong to 12th.
You're in the 12th. Now, this is the time where we decide, what exactly we want to be, the way we have got to work, how we plan to work. All those aspects starts off at the 10th, 11th, and 12th. And I'm sure if you do a methodical work, there's nothing like that. You see, with a good time management, with a flexible hours of work, definitely sky is the limit for you all. There's no doubt about it. And you have positive aspects, negative aspects creeping in your mind. In a day, anyone will have around 40 to 50,000 thoughts, out of which 40 to 50% will be negative. Whether I'll be able to or not, will I do or not, will I get it or not, will I get into that class of college or not, will I get to this course or not? That sort of a feel will pull you back. Never allow that. The successful person is one who's able to think, not only think positively, but overcome the negative challenges and travel in the surge of life forward. Boldly, confidently, you see, very, very important. So every one of us have When you think, okay, I want to become a doctor, oh, will I be able to? I don't think. Oh, it's all difficult. You see? Suddenly, what you can say, a sort of a negative aspects will start creeping in your mind, which should never happen. But negative thing also is very essential. Now, shall I tell you something about my journey, like from here, from +2, what I did? Shall I tell you that, Sean?
Yes,
Sure,
sir.
sir. Sir, we know that you're such an occupied person who's busy with a hectic schedule. Can you please
Yes.
elaborate how a day in your life would be so that we could step into your shoes and we could get to know a lot about your daily routine?
Yes, my daily routine, the one thing you want to know first. Well, daily routine, as a physician, neurophysician, and neurosurgeon, one of the most important thing is I do see patients and starts off in the morning by around maybe 6 or 7. I do a little of walking. That's now I'm telling you, okay? And then, look into what you can say, what the sort of appointments would we have, and then see patients. Patients come in deferred tensions, sorrows. Each one is a different person. We have to, what you can see, hear about what they have to tell. And accordingly, we have to, what you can say, administer the cures. In between, an emergency comes, I have to attend that. You see, that's very important. In between, even if there is something for the family which I have promised, I have to compromise or sacrifice that. Because there is a component, even the doctors, that is, they have to be altruistic. That means considering others above us. That is the most important component for a doctor, altruism. So we'll have to set aside our interests, or sometimes we might have to sacrifice, because patients' interests are our prime interest. Very, very important. So that we'll have to look into. Then having quick lunch, then settle down again to see patients. And then after that, some walk in the evening, then night supper. Then I do a little of reading every day because I want to read something new. So I keep constantly updating my knowledge. This is one of the most important things which I do and I believe in. And a successful journey can only be had if you can update the knowledge constantly. And that's what I want to tell you. How and why I have done these degrees, not for the craze of taking degrees. I'd like to tell you that to begin with, because I boil down to the constant updating of knowledge, which is essential for any walk of life, be it a doctor, engineer, lawyer, or you can say chartered accountant, or anyone. I can tell you, you have to constantly update your knowledge, because even in the field of engineering today, if you do not know about ML, machine learning, if you do not know about data science, if you do not know any one of these, and you're sitting with some old software language which you have learned, you can lose your job in no time. Understood? So you have to constantly update your knowledge, whichever be the field. Even if it is law, you have to constantly update your knowledge. In that way, when I finished my +2, I joined. I had a vision that I wanted to become a doctor. When it started, when I was in the 6th standard, I got a mark for science, about 96%, which is a very rare thing for a science subject to get 96. You can, for maths, you can actually opt for that. So then I started looking to my mom, said, you're drawing so well, human anatomy, so well you have drawn. I think you must become a doctor. There started that spark in me, oh yes, why not be a doctor? But then, you start working for that. 10, 11, 12 is the time when you become opening your eyes and looking around that physics, chemistry, biology is going to be very, very important. So special concentrated learning will have to be done. And I got through with a distinction. And at that time, we never had any competitive exam. We got into the college with a +2 marks, with a distinction, happily entered into the corridors of the college with great dreams. See? And as I'm sailing through the college, we have around 14 subjects. It's not a joke. We have 14 subjects. and we will be having internal assessment examinations for each subject. So that means one subject we have around 3 internals and then a final. So 4. So 4 what you can say into 14 will be how much? Hello?
4 times 14 is 56.
Yes. So 56, almost around nearly 70 to 75 exams, we have to write as you're going through. But all those things are very, very easy. It's not all that difficult. Provided you're a little focused and you have your time management well, you're committed to reading, your college hours will be after 4 o'clock, you're free, 4 to 5, you can do whatever you want, 5 to 6, read whatever that has been taught on that day in the class, which will be very fresh in your mind. Again, 6:30 to 8, have your supper, enjoy, watch movie, TV, then settle down by 8:30 to 11:30. So 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, 3 plus 1, 4 hours is all that is enough for you. You have a concentrated reading. That's very important. The word concentrated, focused reading is very, very essential. An attention span for everyone is around 10 to 15 minutes. After that, your mind starts wandering. Very important. So 10 to 15 or 20 minutes of concentrated reading, 5 minutes of relaxation. Do something which you're not done so far. Maybe feeding the fish or reading the paper, taking the phone and criticizing someone. Do anything you want, but stop off in 5 minutes. Turn the TV, see something, then again switch off, be back to your book. So 3 plus 1. 1 hour is for your that day's reading, that portion, that day, and remaining 3 hours is just to revise your subjects and get prepared for your next examination. Understand and read. So 4 hours a day is all that is enough for a wonderful reading. And with that, you will sail through in first attempt all your subjects of 14. And I can tell you, you will not know how the years pass by. Very important. The day you get in, suddenly you see what you can say that for the final exam, you're sitting in front of your examiner. That's the most important thing. You won't know how the days fly off so fast. Not only your concentrated reading is all that not going to make you around. Your brain has got both halves. Left half and the right half. Left half of the brain is for linear thinking, mathematics, calculation. The right half of the brain is for music, sports, enjoyment, spatial thinking. You must kindle both halves of your brain. So please see that you enjoy yourself, participate in cultural activities, do some extracurricular activities, participate in games, do all that. Very important. Keep that in your timetable. You must have a timetable. And accordingly, you see that it is a flexibility is allowed. And so that both halves of the brain, when gets stimulated, novel ideas starts coming in. A creative thinking genius sets in. That's what you have got to do. That's what I tell when I was associate dean and also when I was the professor of neurosurgery in the medical college. And also when I was the associate dean at Isarab, I used to tell every time when the cultural programs are there, I used to motivate everybody. I said, now for the next 4 days, forget all your books. Just concentrate on the games. That's very, very important. Even for my sons, Dr. Kannan Girish and Dr. Prashant, one is a psychiatrist and the other is a ophthalmologist. In fact, I taught them, I told them, one Kannan actually is good at tabla, is good at dance, good at drums. In fact, all these were taught to him when he was in the 3rd and 4th standard.
Sir,
And he won all the competitions.
sir, that sounds interesting, sir. Your vibrance and enthusiasm is a source of wonder for all of us, sir. Sir, you are known for a mastery as both a neurosurgeon and a neurophysician.
I'm coming
Could
to
you
that.
please? Yes, sir.
I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that. Is
Yes,
it?
sir. Definitely, sir.
I'm coming to that. Now, the same way, my second son, ophthalmologist, he learned how to get drums. He was the drums Shivamani of Ramachandra Medical College. And Kannan was, in fact, the Michael Jackson of Ramachandra Medical College. They used to participate in all the cultural programs. And I can tell you, they became an all-rounder. That is where students to become all-rounders, you should not only put a horse's suit and keep study. No, I don't believe in that. You have got to study, you have to participate in your games, be with your family, and have a balanced approach to life. And that is a time you can actually go forward in your journey successfully. Very important. Now, after finishing MBBS, okay, I came to Madras Medical College and I sat in the last row. That is the time I got married. And, I thought this is enough. 14 years, 14 subjects, 5 years I've studied. Enough is enough, I thought. I came and sat in Madras Medical College in the last row of the cardiology auditorium. And when I was sitting there, I could see all the professors there, Professor K.V. Thiruvengadam, the then senior professors, all of them discussing. And I didn't understand head or tail. Oh my God, so much of advances have taken place. I think I must, what you can say, take up post-graduation. And when I was doing final year, I had a feeling that I must be a physician because I was with a very good unit, a physicians unit. He became a role model for me, and I thought I must become a physician. So I appeared for MD General Medicine, so doctorate in medicine. Okay, and I appeared and I got selected, and I joined the Madras Medical College, MD General Medicine, under the late Professor K.V. Thiruvengadam. He was one of the very good professor, B.Z. Roy Uzapian, a Padmashri Uzapian, and so on. And I worked with him. And it was 2 years. I what you can say finished. And after the 2 years, I felt I must specialize in neurology because there we have multiple institutes. And you have what you can say a lot of exposure in meetings and attending to all the various meetings. And I got a little fascinated about the subject of neuro. And I thought I'll become a neurologist. And there's another reason why I did that. And then what you can say, I joined neurology. And when I joined neurology, 2 years, it was a very good audio. I learned the fascinating aspects about the brain and so many things. And DM neurology, I finished. And then I felt I'm on the top of the world. Is it? MBBS, MD General Medicine, DM neurology. Now, as I was sitting in my clinic here, Patma Clinic and Nursing Home, after taking DM neurology and feeling what you can say with an air of pride around my head, suddenly I was called in by a patient in the opposite hospital. I went there. It was a case of head injury. I got the shock of my life. Oh my God. I being in the institute, I've not even seen one case of head injury. Now, how does look at this? Then after examining and then writing medications and referring to a neurosurgeon, I came back and sat and thought, why not I become a neurosurgeon too? What prevents me from becoming a neurosurgeon? And after all, it is one arm of the neurosciences. So then what you can say came up, what you can say that I could take up neurosurgery too. And that time there was the entrance examination. That was the first time that Tamil Nadu government introduced entrance examination for super specialty courses. At that time, it was the late Chief Minister MGR during his period. He was very particular that this should be done. And I had only 3 months left for the examination. We have to study very hard. And I'm going to compete with the people who are just coming out of MBBS. That means almost 5 years difference. See, I finished my MBBS 5 years, MD General Medicine 3 years, DM Neurology 2 years, and then I'm coming and sitting with again MBBS students to write a competitive exam. People said what you can say, look down upon me. Come on, what are you going to do? Are you going to what you can say, rewrite MBBS again? See? How can you what you can say, pass the exam? These people are coming fresh from their subject. I said, no, I took it as a challenge. 3 months, 12 to 16 hours. I read and left. I read, reread, and ultimately went for the examination. I competed along 150 students were there. Only 150 people appeared for this. This is actually a 5-year course. This 5-year course is meant only for MBBS students. So I am taking from MBBS actually. I'm appearing for this. MD and DM is not counted for this. So I'm appearing from MBBS. I'm writing the exams with them. I got, my dear students, about 98.6 out of 80. Wow, what a wonderful mark, I thought. 98.6 out of 80. I don't know what this 0.6 means, but that was the computer evaluation. And only 3 people were selected at that time out of the 150. All the others got below 50%. And thus I entered into neurosurgery. I got chosen in Madras Medical College, 5 years of marathon work. And if you ask me the timing at that time, it is horrible. Morning, 7 sharp, I have to run to the college. And we have a meeting up to 8:30, 8:30 to 9:30, or 8:30 to 9, quick breakfast, 9 to 10 rounds, 10 to 11 rounds with your assistant and associate, and 11 to 12 rounds with the professor, then settle down to work, quick lunch between 1 and 1:30, and then what you can say, if there's any emergency, I have to go to the theater, and then what you can say, up to around 4:35, 6, 7, I'll be working, reaching home by 8:39. Those 5 years, I hardly saw my children. When I go out, they would have already gone out. They have already gone to school. And when I come back, they have already gone to bed. See? So those 4 to 5 years, I had to do that sacrifice. But I had an able-bodied wife, you know. She was actually the real strong pillars for them. And she was actually carrying through. In spite of it, she also had been an administrator of this Patwa Clinic in nursing home and managing director. And she could not against manage looking after the children too. She was my right, left, and the strong pillar, which in fact I could actually carry forward taking up neurosurgery because it's a very, very tough field. And a day when I've got duty, you'll be doing at least minimum 10 surgeries, 60 road traffic accidents, 10 surgeries I have got to do. Early morning, 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, there'll only be a vendor with a cup of coffee, and that glass will be dipped into a dirty water, and then it is taken out, and hot water, you'll wash it, and then he'll give a cup of coffee. That is all the breakfast, that is all the early morning coffee you used to have there, and nothing more, nothing less. So that was the hard work, what you can say, which we done at that time. But the studying pattern is totally different for a post-graduation and undergraduation. Now, after coming out of that, suddenly I felt, hey, come on. I become a physician, neurophysician, neurosurgeon, and one among the two to be both a neurophysician and neurosurgeon in the whole of Asia. I have not taken for that, actually. You know what I have taken? I was actually keeping pace with the changes. To quench the thirst for knowledge, I was keeping on studying. I fell into the group, which each one of you, those who are going to become doctors, will automatically fall into that group. And you will just not know how you're going forward. That's very important, you know, to quench the thirst for more knowledge. And I will tell you why that knowledge part of it. You must know about it. So I'll just show you that slide. Just share the slide. I'll tell you what changes occurred during that 40 years and why I took that. It's in one field of radiology, okay? So that you can really understand the changes that are taking place in the medical field. That will give a very brief glimpse. Look into that.
Yes, sir. Please share with us, sir.
Has disabled the participant screen sharing. Is there any problem there, Praveen? Praveen?
1 second, sir. Yeah. You can share it now, sir.
Yes. Can you all see it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, updating knowledge. I told you, you know, I started off with updating knowledge and now I just started to get to my journey in medicine. Now, you know that this is almost around 218. That's the patients we examine: inspection, palpation, percussion, auscultation. And this was Rainy Lenac, 1816, you know, 206 years ago. You know, used to keep the chest, ear over the chest if you want to hear the breath sounds. Very important. You must keep your ear on the chest. So he had a patient who was a lady patient and he couldn't do that. So when he was walking from his clinic to the, well, from his house to the clinic, he saw 2 children playing with the flip of coin with the cardboard paper, and they were enjoying the sound. Suddenly he clicked the idea of stethoscope. That is how he devised that. That was 206 years ago. That was the first time you started hearing the breath sounds, the heart sounds. Until then, we didn't know what was happening inside the human body. Very important. So that was the big change at that time. So when we were studying for MBBS, maybe 45, 50 years ago, you will find that I was using the stethoscope, okay, to hear the sounds. Putting a stent around the neck, you're on the top of the world, you're a doctor. Then came the X-rays. See, this is the first X-ray by Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen.
Cannot see the screen, sir. Screen is not visible.
But we are
Only the
able
first
to
slide
see.
is visible.
Can you see it now?
Yeah, now
Yes,
it's
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir.
This is the first X-ray that has been taken in his wife's hand, Röntgen. Okay, 127 years ago. That is the time you're seeing the bones. Next. Now we can see the chest X-ray. See here, the lungs, the heart, the shadow is seen. You can now see that. And you can see here the spine. See? So beautiful. You can see all the bones, but soft tissues are not seen. This is what when I was studying for MBBS. Okay? This is all when I was studying for MBBS. This is the bones, the pelvic bones. This is the skull bone. You think? Do you see anything other than the skull bone, any one of you? I think?
No, sir.
Yes. Until around maybe, when I was doing my MD General Medicine, okay? When a patient comes with head injury, I take this X-ray, I look into that skull, X-ray, the patient's attendant also looks, I don't see anything, patient also don't see anything, okay? Because after all, we are seeing only the skull bone. So that is the X-ray. So when I was doing MBBS, it was all that. When I finished MD, my thesis for MD was brain tumors, and therefore I used to go to the institute, inject vessels into the dye into the vessels of the neck which goes to the brain, and I see that and then diagnose indirectly. So that was a struggle at that time. So we had only this. Then when I was slowly coming out of MD and I find advances are taking place like anything, and I was entering DM neurology, came the CT scan. Is it? Can somebody tell me who discovered this? Hello? Sean?
I'm not able to.
Shana?
I'm not sure, sir.
Ashwin?
Sir,
Not sure,
Godfrey
sir.
Hounsfield. Sir, Godfrey Hounsfield.
Who? What hearing?
Godfrey Hounsfield.
Godfrey Hounsfield. Very good. Now, what was he?
Sir, he was like a doctor.
Was he a doctor?
No, he
Like
was
a
a
medical
biochemical engineer.
Engineer. Okay. I'm sure all of you are having your mobiles with you, isn't it? Anyway, Godfrey Hounsfield, he is a person. He was an engineer, electrical engineer working in EMI. He was told to devise a computer in the 1960s. One fine morning when he was actually taking a walk, thud came a feeling in his brain. Why not I study something of what is inside the human body? What about the brain? Why not I do something to do that? And he developed a CT scan. He devised one. And he wanted to take it for the human being. He took an ox first. He wanted to take it of a human being. Then it was taken, in fact, to many people. No. Radiologist said, no, we cannot have this. Then James Ambrose from London, he said, you bring your machine and they'll scan my patient. And they scanned it and they did find a tumor in the brain. Then the rest is history. Is it? Now, if you take a CT scan brain, you can easily see the huge, beautiful brain can be seen here. So this is the brain. The white is the bone and the fluid. Cerebrospinal fluid is the black color which is seen in it. You can see so beautifully the brain. This is what I was saying when I joined DM Neurology. You know, I was keeping pace with the changes. And I started taking pictures of various patients with various diseases and tumors. It was a big thrill actually for me. You know, DM Neurology, we got the CT scan brain. The first head scanner in the government sector was in the Institute of Neurology, Government Medical College. And the first head scanner in a private area was in the in Delhi. So here you see a lady, and here you see a CT scan of that lady who had been having occasional fits for more than 2 years. And we did it and found a big lesion here. You see here? A wide, big ball-like lesion. This is a lesion that is arising from the covering of the brain called meningioma. It is so easy to diagnose. You see? CT scan has simplified the whole diagnosis in the diagnostic armamentarium of the whole work, whole medical science, more so of neurosciences. And you can see after the surgery, patient is happy and the tumor is not there. You saw that? Surgery has been simplified just because of the CT scan. Many head injuries have been saved when there is a clot. You see here, one episode of seizures. He lands up with a low-grade glioma here, black color. This is the normal brain. Eyes cut. And you see here, he's being followed up and the whole thing is enlarged. This is actually MRI. And this is another person, 34-year-old, only heaviness said, that's all his complaint. And you see here, diffuse infiltrating lesion turned out to be an astrocytoma, a low-grade tumor. And he was operated and he did very well. Yes. You see? Here is another patient, elderly man, landed up with a very malignant big tumor. He has got only loss of memory, nothing else. And you see here, tumor has been removed. That's about the brain. You know, it has simplified the diagnosis so much. And this is CT scan chest. And you know, when the second wave of corona occurred, many people are running for a CT chest. And this was the appearance, you know. This is infection. This is the normal chest. And this shows the infection. And these people need actually cohort 3, cohort 5, all of you are thorough with it actually, you know.
May I interrupt here just for a second? Praveen here. Am I audible?
Like to say something?
Sir, am I audible?
This seems very difficult, sir. I would like to share a few lines about neurosurgeon. Being a neurosurgeon is easy. It's like riding a bike, except the bike is on fire, you are on fire, and everything is on fire. These lines.
Ashwath, you are not audible, Ashwath.
Yes, sir. I will try to fix that.
Can you leave and join again?
Yes, sir. I will do it.
Yeah.
Now, I'll just finish this and then I'll answer your question. I don't know what it is. Now, the next came, as I was entering into MCH neurosurgery, came the MRI brain. You see? A newer diagnostic tool has started coming in. Now, if you really look into CT scan means X-rays pass through the brain, taken up by a computer, crystals, sodium crystal, fed into the computer, image is created. Whereas MRI, you find you're in a highly magnetic field, you're being placed. Your water, you know, hydrogen ions are like what you can say at top, will be going in different directions. The moment you are in a high pulse, that is what we Tesla magnetic field, all will go in one direction. Moment you're given a pulse, it comes to 90 to 180. Cut off the pulse, it goes back to the original state, releases the energy, and an image is created. And that is magnetic resonance imaging. You see the mid-sagittal section of the brain. You can see here, beautiful brain, the brain stem, midbrain, pons, medulla, cerebellum, and you can see everything in the MRI, just like as you see in the textbook. Diagnosis has become so simple. Very, very simple. You saw that? And this is the spine. You see, this is the bone. This is the disc. This is the low back. You see, this disc is white in color. Here it is degenerated and he has got a disc prolapse. It is so easy to find now. Very, very easy. And this is of the heart, the beautiful vessels can be seen. And even advances have taken place. I would like to see one advance I'd like to tell you. That is why you have to keep pace with changes. You have to constantly update your knowledge. Very, very important in the medical field, so that you can offer to the best to the patient, in the best interest of the patient. Here is a patient who had hemisphere. How long it will take to recover, doctor? That is a question he's asking. And then I am actually doing a diffusion fractography, where you can see the fibers very well. You saw this? Right side, the fibers are seen very well. Left side, the fibers are cut. So you can tell them, if the fibers are like this, recovery will be very much prolonged. If fibers 1 or 2 are touching, that means recovery will be faster. So we have diffusion fractography. All these are available in Chennai itself. You see? Ultrasound. Abdomen was a Pandora's box. Now it is no more. With the advent of ultrasound, you can see everything. Liver, spleen, intestines, kidney, all can be seen actually. You see, the gallbladder, gallstones, everything can be seen. All these modern diagnostic tools, like CT scan, MRI brain, has revolutionized the diagnostic armamentarium of the medical sciences, more so in the field of neurosciences. And that is why I was keeping on updating my knowledge and keeping on taking the degrees from MBBS to MD General Medicine to DM Neurology to MCS Neurosurgery. And when I turned back and looked, I became the first in Asia to be both a neurophysician and neurosurgeon. Is just because I wanted to quench the thirst for knowledge and to keep pace with those changes, to keep pace with advances that are taking place. You understood? This is how I took up all this. Yes, no, stop. Well, that is my journey from MD, DM, MCS neurosurgery. Sean?
Thank you so much for sharing all your experiences, sir. It is indeed a great pleasure to know about your journey. It's such an inspiration to all of us here, sir. And also from your presentation, we found out that the growth of science and technology has revolutionized the medical diagnostics and practices, sir. Thank you so much for sharing the information with us, sir.
Sir, it's good to hear you.
I want every one of you to constantly update your knowledge. Never think at one fine morning, this is enough for me and lie down and sleep. No, don't do that. Not only for the field of medicine, but it is also the field of engineering. It is also available in the field of CA, law, anywhere for that matter. Yes, Ashwin, you're about to ask me something.
Yes, sir. It's good to hear you so vibrant and enthusiasm, sir. It's a wonder for all of us, sir. Sir, I would like to share a few lines that being a neurosurgeon is easy. It's like riding a bike, except the bike is on fire, you are on fire, and everything else is on fire, sir. This line explains that being a neurosurgeon is definitely hard. But even though knowing it was hard, why did you choose it as your profession? And what was the turning point in your life which made you to pursue the dream of being a neurosurgeon?
Yes, that is my passion. That passion I developed when I saw a patient with head injury and I didn't know head or tail of it. And I thought, why not? This is a part of the neuroscience compartment. Why not I take up that? And he can tell you, there is a view at that time, a physician can only be a physician. A surgeon can only be a surgeon. It is not so. If you tune up your mind, you can be both a physician and a surgeon, like in the field of ophthalmology, like in the field of obstetrics and gynecology. They're both physicians and surgeons. Okay? It's your passion.
Sir. Yes, sir. Very well explained.
Do what you love and love what you do. Sky's the limit.
Thank you
sir.
so much.
Sir, another question is that, sir, you are known for a mastery as both as a neurosurgeon and a neurophysician, sir. Can you please explain the difference between a neurosurgeon and a neurophysician?
Yes, Neurophysician gives medicines, makes diagnosis, and gives medicines for medical disorders. Okay, like stroke, epilepsy, degenerative diseases, demyelinative diseases. There are so many of them. Whole gamut of diseases are there where neurologists are treating. Neurosurgeon operates head injuries. If there is a clot, they'll have to evacuate it. And they also operate on brain tumors, spinal cord tumors, disc surgeries. Okay, all these are done by the neurosurgeons.
Thank you so much for elaborating, sir. You are indeed a great example how a great doctor must be by seeing the bountiful respect that you get from your patients and the fellow doctors. That is priceless, sir. Actually, Japanese professor Tetsuo Kano, who's the founding president of the Asian Congress of Neurological Surgeons, ACNS, he was an outstanding and leading neurosurgeon in the world. He had given you the name of an ideal neurosurgeon. Sir, according to you, who is an ideal doctor and what are the qualities that define a good doctor? Please elaborate, sir.
Yes, very good question, Dr. Sean. It's an excellent question. An ideal doctor is a doctor who is self-confident, okay, who believes in his strengths. Okay, that's very important. Next one, who is a person who accepts responsibility. Okay, he makes a decision, he accepts it. He is an ideal doctor. A self-confident as well as a person who is in fact accepting responsibilities. These are the two important qualities for any leader to begin with. Next is a doctor with a vision. A doctor who set goals according to his vision. The goals can be SMART goals, specific, measurable, achievable, reliable, time-bound, or short-term, intermediate, long-term. You see? Accordingly, what you can say, set goals. Even when they are studying, they do have goals. And then, of course, working as a team, respecting each other is very important. In a teamwork. Doctor as a team is the head of a team, actually. It forms of nurses, attendants, colleagues, everything will join together as a team. So you should be able to have very good interpersonal relationship as a good team leader. You should be. He can be an ideal doctor. And the most important quality is altruism. That means considering the patient's interest above ours. Very, very important. Being confident, accepting responsibilities, having a vision, then a vision, and having what you can say your team, your goals, then a teamwork, and other very important is altruism. And then of course, honest, accountability, having time management, extremely important, stress management. Doctor is a human being. You should know how to manage the stress. As any other human being, doctor will also have stress. So he should know how to balance it. He should know how to manage that. And above all, one of the most important thing is he has to do in the best interest of the patient always. You see, these are the multiple qualities that are required for an ideal doctor.
Thank you so much.
An ideal doctor is also one who constantly updates the knowledge and keep pace with the change. That is, enhance knowledge, embrace change, emit happiness. You understood? Those are the three things that a doctor will have to remember throughout his life.
Yes, sir.
Happiness for himself, as for the patients first, and then for himself.
Yes, sir. So we have curated 5 questions from 500 students who wanted to ask few questions to you, sir. Let me ask you a question. COVID has obviously exerted influence in all our lives, sir. As students, we get up at 8:59 a.m. to attend the 9 a.m. online classes. How has COVID impacted your line of work, sir?
COVID has, COVID like anybody else, we were actually very busy. The first wave was a wave of shock. We never knew what it was. So what happened is, as a doctor in the forefront and I'm running a small institution of 50-bedded hospital. So my staff, I've got to train them. A patient XYZ who enters can have corona. You see? So therefore, first and foremost thing is training our doctors and staff how to wear, don and doff your dresses when you look after the patients, the importance of wearing mask, the importance of wearing a face shield, the importance of hand washing, which will have to be told day in and day out, because they are the most vulnerable people, because we are in the forefront. That is one of the most important things which I was doing. And even in SRM College, when I was at the fag end during the first wave, I trained almost nearly 1,000 doctors on donning and doffing, because the donning, that is putting on your PP kit, and when you remove it, you're going to be all the more careful that you should not get infected. So this is the most important thing I did during that time. Second, online, I was propagating the preventive measures, how to get relieved of stress, how to isolate yourself, all those things. When the second wave occurred, this one block of ours was totally devoted to the corona patients, because at that time, people were catching for the breath. Oxygen was in demand. We had around 50 oxygen cylinders, and we kept it and treated almost around 200 to 250 patients. And hardly there was any mortality. All of them did fairly well. And thereafter, for the third wave, we again continued into this, because it is a lesser rotation. I continued seeing patients, and I see patients with this N95 mask and a face shield. This is the way I sit in my consulting room. Okay, this is very, very important. And as a frontline worker, in fact, I was spreading awareness into the Lions movement, right from Chennai down to Kanyakumari. I was also spreading information to Rajasthan, to my friends, James Association, Rajasthani Association. Everywhere I was spreading information about the spreading awareness on the preventive programs for the corona. I was very, very active. Not only that, I was also doing an online program. Number one, I was doing on a postgraduate diploma in bioethics. I was also learning Indian Sign Language. Okay. In fact, additionally, I have joined the Symbiosis University on a distant course for diploma in medical law. As a part of updating the knowledge, I was doing it during this 2.5 years. I was very busy. Okay.
Yes, sir. We got the answer. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, sir. You are indeed an example for an ideal and a good doctor, sir. I agree that COVID has turned our lives upside down, to be honest. And another question I wanted to ask you is that in life, everyone would have faced a lot of challenges. Being a successful personality, you definitely would have encountered certain barriers and would have crossed it with confidence. Sir, what was your biggest failure in your life, and what did you learn from it, sir?
Biggest
failure in your life, sir.
Failure.
And what did you learn from it, sir? And also the barriers which you crossed with confidence. Can you please explain, sir?
Yes, because failure, I can't say it's a failure. There are certain upsets that can occur in our lives. Upsets that occurred are only physical illnesses of my relations. And the first and the foremost, what has happened was my wife's mother. She was Dr. Sarala Balakrishnan. She was a very famous gynecologist in Viruddhanagar. She was a family physician to late Kamraj and so on, and a very popular figure. And at that time, I'm telling you, 1947, where you find equipments are at its infancy. She graduated from Madras Medical College and set up a clinic in Viruddhanagar. And a year after my wedding, she was returning from Tirupati, where she met with an accident, and she actually was with the ARDS, and she was unconscious in a comatose state for nearly 6 weeks, and that was one of the biggest tragic and upsetting feature. Whereas at that time I was just doing I was finished my internship, I've not got my MD, And, I was just in the process of applying for MD. That is the time that this was happening. That is a big, big setback, what you can say at the time. There was a big tragedy that occurred. And at that time, I never knew what exactly is this head injury and what exactly it is producing to the brain. And we never had a CT scan at that time. That was the biggest mishap. So they were diagnosing it only indirectly. She was, of course, managed properly. Up to 8 weeks we pulled on, and after 8 weeks, she passed away. So that is one of the major setbacks. And I had to overcome that. And it is after that, life to go on. And then what you can say, I went up ahead and took up my MD and traveled my journey further. So that was on a personal, relational, what you can loss, what I had to face. Failure in the profession per se. Maybe when I applied for DM neurology on the first round, I did not get it, but I took it as a challenge and prepared much more better, and I appeared and reappeared again. So I did not, nothing happened. That is for the Viva, for selection of DM, not for passing the exam. Passing the exam, what you can say, I didn't learn very well, so I did not have any issues as far as exams are concerned.
Yeah.
So negative things do occur in life. It is always take it as a challenge. You must understand, reason it out, and then what you can say, slowly travel the journey forward.
Sure, sir. Sir, thank you for answering, sir. You have said that to reach the unreachable star, it is my quest to follow, no matter how much. In your life, you would have faced a lot of hardships and sacrifices, sir. You are an inspiration to all of us here. What is the suggestion or recommendation that you want to give to the youth who are aspiring to become doctors, but they are not with proper financial backup, sir?
Well, I think the financial backup in the sense that I can tell you MBBS, I don't think is that costly in a government college. And if you study very well in a focused, systematic manner, I know many who are entering into the government college and they're paying only very, very nominal fees. I can tell you can do it. If I can do it, you too can do it. You see, it's only a question of systematic focused study with perseverance. Very, very important. You see, first of all, when you start studying, you have a negative feeling, that, I may not get it. Oh, I don't think I'll get it. Oh, I don't think I'll get it. If you start saying 7 times that, I'm sure your brain will get conditioned for that. So for that, there is a positive affirmation, which I will show you what gets to the end of my talk, end of this interaction. I'll show you the positive affirmation, which I had been utilizing throughout my career, which I think will definitely give you also, it will be an eye-opener for you all for to succeed in life.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your answer, sir. For this question, your answer is very valuable to all the students present here, sir. This motivation which you had given definitely boosts your confidence, sir. Do you have any regrets?
One more thing I want to tell you.
Yes, sir.
This is of one doctor who is presently in US. He has got a Johnston medalist. He's a Johnston medalist, means from Madras Medical College, you should get gold medal for all the 14 subjects. Then only you can be a Johnston medalist. Okay. And he has taken up the cardiothoracic surgery and he is now patenting and he has published enough of scientific papers and he's in US in one of the centers. Now, when he got this Johnson medal, in fact, I was interviewing him once and he came to present to junior students, The one question I asked him, doctor, how long do you spend studying during your MBBS days? And what he told me? He said, the college is over by 4 o'clock. Okay. 4:30 to 6:30, I play football in the MMC grounds. I played very well. Then I become tired. Then I have some snacks. By 7 or 7:30, catches a train. He reaches St. Thomas Mount. That's where his house is. And then he goes to has a good warm bath, has a supper, and off to bed by 10 o'clock. He gets up exactly at 3 in the morning. 3 to 6 is the most beautiful time that he allots to read. He says, I can do focused reading between 3 and 6 in the morning. And that is supposed to be the Brahma Muhurtam. I don't know how many of you know about it. There was a famous, I think it is James Vine or somebody. I think Praveen should be able to tell you. He once, he's a big speaker. He's an orator and a motivational speaker. So in an audience of around 3,500, 4,000 people sitting in the audience, he was asking them, how many of you get up at 3 in the morning? Majority of them put their hands up. What do you do after that? Many of them said they go back to sleep. Some of them said they will go to the toilet and be back again to sleep. Only 2 or 3 said they will sit down to do something to read. He said all his books he has written between 3 and 6 in the morning. All his, what you can say, innovative and creative works he has done only between 3 and 6 in the morning. You understood? Yet that is where the Brahma Muhurtam 4 and 6 is. That means you can have a very focused reading and you're very fresh. Whatever you read, your mind grasps just like that. So that is a beautiful time. That is what's said by this famous friend of mine, the Johnson medalist, who is now a leading cardiothoracic surgeon in US. Okay, that's an additional information for you. Some of you people might, what you can say, follow that, and it is quite good, and some of them may not. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you for this valuable information, sir. The motivation which you give definitely boosts our confidence, sir. There are a lot of aspiring doctors present in this meeting, sir. You had been a dean of one of the top universities, SRM, and also a professor in countries like Italy and Japan. Sir, could you please elucidate the difference between studying medicine in India and abroad?
Oh, medicine in India and abroad. I think the subject is all the same. It can't be different anyway. The teaching methodology changes. Now, if you take up Harvard University, their teaching methodology is adult learning. When you say adult learning, that means you are given the topic. That's a flipped classroom, you call it. What you're about to do in the class, you'll be doing at home, and what you do at home, you'll be doing in the class. That means they will give you the resource material. You go read about it at home. Come back in the class, they give you assignment. You work on that assignment and you present. So the class is off the class, it is off by and for you. And they are only facilitators, the teachers. Now, for the present MBBS curriculum, they have introduced this adult learning pattern. This adult learning pattern will induce a self-directed learning for every one of you. And then in the long run, you can become a lifelong learner, which is very, very essential in all walks of life. So that is the motive for the adult learning. That is called andragogy. Pedagogy. Peda is the child, gogo is to lead. Andragogy. Andra is the adult and gogo is to lead. Okay? Sometimes a hybrid learning is essential. But I always feel, now I also trained in bioethics. So I go around training the professors of various universities. And I use this method of adult learning because they are all professors. So we give them assignments, they come forth and discuss. Okay, that's good.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for your enthralling words, sir. So India has a plenty of doctors to meet the needs of the rapidly growing population of the country, but the number of neurosurgeons in the country is comparatively less, sir. We would like to hear a few words from you which will inspire the young minds across the globe to pursue neurology as a stream of education. Give us your valuable advice to the upcoming youth, sir.
Now, neurology and neurosurgery, see, as such, if you take up the doctor population ratio itself is low. You find it has to be 2:1,000. But in India, in the urbans, you have 1:1,000 at the most. You have 10 lakh doctors in India, but we require another 5 to 7 actually. 5 to 7. This 10 lakh doctors with the 7 lakh Ayush practitioners, together they're making it 1:1,000. But if you go into the remote villages, you'll find it is 1:5,000 to 1:6,000. And you find in a year, 87,000, 85,000 undergraduates come out. But there are postgraduate seats only around 50,000. That is why you find subspecialization, super specialization, the number of seats are less. In the long run, the government has plans, in fact, to increase the number of seats. And then I feel this proportion will be managed. Neurology and neurosurgery is a wonderful subject. You can easily take it up. And if you have a fancy for reading about the human brain, I think it is an ocean. It is an ocean. You see, it is an ocean. There is so much about the human brain, which you can actually discuss days and days actually. Okay, like ages. Lovely, the brain. Even today, there's a lot of mystery of the brain. A lot of mystery. In fact, I was telling about the memory, how memory is bizarre. For example, I was standing in the airport with my wife, almost around, I think 15 or 20 years earlier. I was standing there to receive a guest. And there came a lady who was descending down with her husband. And she came and introduced to me, I am Dr. Geeta. I am your colleague. We studied BPS together. She looked different, I too look different, because as age passes by, all of our shapes change. So accordingly, the outlook also changes. So immediately I tried to recollect, oh my God, Geeta, okay. G. That means in all dissection, everything, for we are straining all the 5 years together, G, with another 2, 3 G's. Okay. So I started suddenly recollecting all that, and then I stopped to her, and then I was just what I can say, I was just recalling in my mind, and I'm looking ahead and like this. And I was actually thinking, the days which have gone immediately came into my mind, the medicine department, the anatomy department, the physiology department, the pharmacology department, all the different the colleges were going through, in my mind like a flash. I thought I'd forgotten all those. And I also remembered, very sweetly, how much of money I have spent for her in the coffee shop. Everything came into my mind like what you can say, gush. Like a gush, it came in my mind. I thought all these are gone actually from my memory. That is the beauty of memory, One small aspect and you find like this Sean, and Ashud, you're sitting today like this. 15 years later, suddenly if you see each other, oh my God, Sean, you remember that day when you were sitting and talking in this live-like platform, and all the things will come into your mind. That is the beauty of the brain. These things we cannot explain actually. The mysteries of the brain. There are so many mysteries to be unraveled. And I'm sure you people will be doing that. You see? Now there are certain... Yes?
Yes, sir, you can continue, sir.
Now, there are certain aspects, as a doctor, which I think you can also think about it, which gave me satisfaction. We have a lot of tensions. It is not a rosy life for a doctor. You should have a passion. You should make sacrifices. You should accept it, and you can go ahead. When you have a passion, when you are committed, and automatic altruism is there, you will actually, this will be nothing for you. You will easily adjust and go. Now, we're all, I felt I have what you can say, had a full satisfaction and succeeded as a doctor. One has to be a clinician, a researcher, teacher, and a leader in community services. These are the 5 areas where I felt immensely satisfied. And I will just show you those slides actually, where I got the real satisfaction. Hope you got time for that, Praveen.
No, actually, time is actually up. We are running out of time. It's almost 7:12.
Are you all willing to listen?
If they are willing to listen, yeah, you can.
Yes, sir, we are willing to listen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sure, sir. We would love to know.
Yeah.
You are out,
Awesome.
okay? You are rude. Clinician. I will tell you, where a doctor, ultimately, I am now what it is in my 65, so that you can understand my journey, where all I get satisfied actually. I was satisfied, one as a clinician, as a surgeon, as a researcher, as a teacher. Updating me. What's put it now? This now. Can you all see this?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, as
Yes,
a
sir.
surgeon, my satisfaction, always I tell you, whatever may be the stress what we have when we treat a patient, when the patient comes and tells you, sir, it is because of you I'm living today. I'm so happy, sir. That melts all your sacrifices and all your tension melts like an ice in front of the patient. Melts like an ice. That is the feel. That is a real joy you actually get being in the medical profession. That is a real joy. You can just perceive it when I'm telling you this now. Now, let me tell you as a surgeon what I felt. See, here is a patient who was brought with a head injury, totally unconscious. He was a two-wheeler rider. And you can see here the clot in the back of the brain. It's a very dangerous area because it's a small area, This is a clot here. And how CT scan has simplified, the diagnosis. And this is the clot here in the back of the brain. These are all normal. And you can see here also the clot. This is the clot. And you see here, the back of the brain is opened up like this. In the back, you can just imagine. Down to your neck. You're opening it. And you see the clot here, the blood clot. You saw this blood clot? Yes. And you see the blood clot? You see the blood clot?
Yes, sir.
And you can see there is a blue color. You saw this? That is called the transverse sinus. It is coming like this across. You see? And this is the upper half of the brain, and this is the lower half. And you see the transverse sinus. The dangerous sinus, if it bleeds, it's very difficult to stop. We had 2 punctate bleeds there. And we are now closed it with surgical gel foam. Okay? Yes, completely evacuated the clot. And you can see the patient was unconscious for almost 65 days. Even his wife, family were thinking twice and thrice whether will he be back to normalcy or not. So day in and day out, I was saying this patient, you see, day in and day out, and then I keep talking to the patients. It's very, very important that you have to keep talking to the patient's attendants. Patient is unconscious. Day in and day out, they'll sit on your neck and find out. But we have to talk to them. Communication is a very important thing. One of the most important quality for a doctor is being a good communicator, listening with empathy. Compassion and empathy is required. Very important. I forgot to mention that quality of a doctor. So his speech was inappropriate. And 65th day, he started slowly responding. You see? By 75th day, he became almost normal. And you can see here, he became normal. I asked him, why did you not wear a helmet when you were driving a two-wheeler? And he said, on that one day alone, I did not drive it. I did not wear a helmet. All other days, I've been wearing it to a helmet. And you see here, one is his wife and his other is sister. Both are happy. And when I saw this, the happiness and the way they were thanking me, that what you can say melt all the what you can say sacrifices I have made day and night and afternoon seeing the patient. You see, that's my duty. So this is one satisfaction. This is now presently one of the students. He's in this 12th standard, He was playing in the hot sun. And suddenly what happened was his eyes came like this in the center. And he couldn't see on either sides. His eyes were in the center. And I saw him and I said, you must have an MRI done immediately. Now you see here, I'm just showing a normal MRI. You have got a blood going in and you have blood coming out. Now this is the blood, this is called the venous blood, So you got the big sinus coming down like this. And then what you can say, another one coming down like this and then goes to the neck. That is a venous drainage. Now you see this patient, it is all clot. So there is no way blood going out of the brain. It's all clot. This is the normal one. See? So he had a cerebral venous thrombosis. It is an emergency. If I had not admitted that patient as an emergency, he would have developed this clot on either side of his brain, multiple clots. Immediately I got him admitted, and I can tell you in a matter of about a week, he improved so well, very well. Such an important, what you can say, improvement. And then his father was in tears, because his father wants him to become an IAS officer. You see, he wants him to become an IAS. And you can see this now. This is the clot, and this is what you can say the normal appearance. And it slowly got resolved, and he's on tablet, and he's doing very well. And he has actually joined what you can say in a college now. And you can just hear now when you hear the father is coming and telling you and talking, this is those of you who are going to become doctors will experience this in your life. At that time, you feel a sense of satisfaction, and that joy is a bliss. That joy is a real bliss. Just listen to that. Just 5 minutes, you listen to it. He's a father of the patient.
Sir, வணக்கம். என்னுடைய பேர் பிரகாஷ். என்னுடைய மகன் பேர் ரூபேஷ். நான் இந்த பத்மா கிளினிக் நர்சிங் ஹோமுக்கு என்னுடைய மகனுடைய ட்ரீட்மெண்ட்காக வந்திருந்தேன். என்னுடைய மகனுடைய ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் அவனுக்கு என்ன டிசீஸ்ன்னு கேட்டீங்கன்னா, பிளட் பிரெயினுக்கு போகிற பிளட் ஸ்டக் ஆகிடுது. அதாவது ரத்த ஓட்டம் தடைப்படுது. மூளைக்கு போகிற ரத்த ஓட்டம் தடைப்படுது. அந்த தடைப்படுற ரத்த ஓட்டம் வந்து ஃபினிஷிங் ஸ்டேஜ். அந்த ஒரு சில நிமிடங்கள், ஒரு சில நொடிகள் நாங்க தாமதிச்சுட்டா கூட என்னுடைய மகனுடைய உயிருக்கு பேராபத்தம் மட்டும். இதை வந்து இதுக்கு முன்னால வந்து பார்த்து, அதாவது அந்த ஸ்கேன் எடுத்தோம், எம்ஆர்ஐ ஸ்கேன் சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு ஸ்கேன் எடுத்தோம். அந்த ரிப்போர்ட்டை பார்த்த டாக்டர் வந்து ரொம்ப சீரியஸா இருக்கு, இமீடியட்டா போய் ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் அட்மிட் ஆகணும் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி சொன்னாங்க. உடனடியா வந்து கூகுள்ல போய் சர்ச் பண்ணுவோம், யாரு இதுல நியூரோ சர்ஜன், யாரு எக்ஸலண்ட் டாக்டர் அப்படின்னு சஜஷன் பண்ணும்போது டாக்டர் கிரீஷாருடைய பேர் இருந்து அவருடைய ஏஜ் மற்றும் அவருடைய எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் எல்லாம் அதுல போட்டிருக்கு.
I am showing this because in the long run, you become doctors, you will also be facing a similar situation. And when a patient comes and thanks you, all your feelings, whatever sacrifices and struggles you had, it will melt like an ice in front of you. Money doesn't count, but this satisfaction cannot be explained with money and property.
உடனே அவர் அட்ரஸ் கொடுத்து வாங்க அப்படின்னு சொன்னாங்க. என்ன ப்ராப்ளம்னா, இந்த ப்ராப்ளம் பிரெயினுக்கு போற பிளட் வந்து சொன்னாங்க டாக்டர், நியூரோ போய் இமீடியட்டா போகணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி சஜஷன் சொன்னாங்க. அதனால சார போகணும், அப்போ உடனே கிளம்பி வாங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லி ஈவினிங் 6 o'clock அப்பாயின்மெண்ட் கொடுத்தாங்க. 6:30 எல்லாம் இங்க ரீச் ஆயிட்டோம். வந்து டாக்டர் மீட் பண்ணோம். எனக்கு வந்து அதனுடைய ப்ராப்ளம் தெரியாது, ஏன்னா ஐ எம் நாட் நியூரோ சர்ஜன். ஸோ அது சம்பந்தமா டாக்டர் வந்து அப்பாயின்மெண்ட் வாங்கிட்டு வெயிட் பண்ணி ஒரு 1 hour வெயிட் பண்ணிட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் டாக்டர் போய் மீட் பண்ணோம். மீட் பண்ணோட அவர் வந்து அந்த ஸ்கேன் எல்லாம் பார்த்தாரு. ஸ்கேனை பார்த்துட்டு அதுல வந்து கிளாரிட்டி சரியில்லை அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு மெட்ராஸ் ஸ்கேன்ல போயிட்டு ஸ்கேன் எடுத்துருவாங்க அப்படின்னு சொன்னாங்க, எம்ஆர்ஐ ஸ்கேன். அது உடனடியா போய் எடுக்கணும்னு சொல்லிட்டு அவரே சாரே வந்து அந்த மெட்ராஸ் ஸ்கேனுக்கு ஃபோன் பண்ணி போல என்னுடைய பேஷண்ட் வராங்க, உடனடியா டிலே பண்ணாம இமீடியட்டா எடுத்தாங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு அவங்களுக்கு ரெஃபர் பண்ணி உடனே நாங்க இங்க இருந்து ஆஸ்திரேலியால நம்ம பத்மா கிளினிக் நர்சிங் ஹோம்ல இருந்து கிளம்பி நேரா வந்து அந்த சென்னை மெட்ராஸ் ஸ்கேன்ல போயிட்டு எம்ஆர்ஐ ஸ்கேன் எடுத்தோம். எடுத்த போதே வந்து அந்த சாரே வந்து அந்த மெட்ராஸ் ஸ்கேனுக்கு ஃபோன் பண்ணி போல என்னுடைய பேஷண்ட் வராங்க, உடனடியா டிலே பண்ணாம இமீடியட்டா எடுத்தாங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு அவங்களுக்கு ரெஃபர் பண்ணி உடனே நாங்க இங்க இருந்து ஆஸ்திரேலியால நம்ம பத்மா கிளினிக் நர்சிங் ஹோம்ல இருந்து கிளம்பி நேரா வந்து அந்த சென்னை மெட்ராஸ் ஸ்கேன்ல போயிட்டு எம்ஆர்ஐ ஸ்கேன் எடுத்தோம். போதே வந்து அங்க வந்து டாக்டர் வந்து ரொம்ப டிலே பண்ணாதீங்க, வந்து அந்த ரூம்ல ரெஃபர் பண்ணி உள்ள அனுப்பி விட்டாங்க. இப்போ சார் கிரீஷ் சாருடைய பேஷண்ட் இமீடியட்டா எடுங்க, சீரியஸ் கண்டிஷன் சொல்லி சீரியஸ் கண்டிஷன் சொல்லும் போதே எனக்கு அழுக வந்துச்சு, என்னடா இது சொல்றாங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லி. அதன் பிறகு உள்ள போயிட்டு என்னுடைய மகனுக்கு வந்து எம்ஆர்ஐ ஸ்கேன் எடுத்தோம். இமீடியட்டா எடுத்துட்டு நேரம் வந்தோம். உள்ள போவோம், ஒரு பக்கம் அவுட் வரும். இதுல 2 பக்கம் வந்து ஸ்டாக் ஆயிருக்குது, இந்த பிளட் வந்து ஸ்டக் ஆயிருக்குது. என்கிட்டயே அந்த படம் போட்டு ஸ்கீன்ல போட்டு எனக்கு காமிச்சாரு. இதை என்னுடைய மகனும் பார்த்தான். 2 பேருமே இதை பார்த்துட்டு என்னுடைய சஜஷன் கேட்டார், இது இமீடியட்டா வந்து அட்மிட் ஆகணும், உங்க சஜஷன் எல்லாம் நான் எதிர்பார்க்கல, நான் ஒரு டாக்டர், என்னுடைய கடமையை நான் செய்யணும். பேரண்ட்ஸ் உங்ககிட்ட காசு வச்சுட்டா இல்லையான்றத பத்தி எல்லாம் எனக்கு கவலை இல்லை, அதெல்லாம் அப்பாற்பட்ட விஷயம். இமீடியட்டா அட்மிட் எழுதிட்டேன். சார் என்ன அட்மிட்டட், எதுவும் பேசாதீங்க, போங்க, சீரியஸ் கண்டிஷன், உங்களுக்கு இதை பத்தி உங்களுக்கு தெரியாது. உடனே ஒரு காலிங் பெல் வச்சாரு, உடனே நர்சன் இவங்களுக்கு போய் அட்மிட் பண்ணுங்க, பிளட் செக்அப் பண்ண சொன்னாங்க. பிளட் எல்லாம் எடுத்து இமீடியட்டா ரொம்ப குயிக்கா நடந்தது. என்ன சொல்றது, மிராக்கிள் போல இருந்தது. உடனே பிளட் எடுத்தாங்க, டெஸ்ட் பண்ணாங்க. இந்த பிளட் செக் பண்ற, அதாவது பிளட் டெஸ்டோடைய ரிப்போர்ட் கொடுக்கணும்னு வந்தாங்க. ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் செக் பண்ணிட்டு உடனே இமீடியட்டா ரிப்போர்ட் சப்மிட் பண்றாங்க. உடனே ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் ஸ்டார்ட் ஆகுது. அந்த அன்னைக்கு நைட்டே வந்து உடனே பெட்டு கொடுத்துட்டாங்க. எதுவுமே பத்தி யோசிக்கல, இவ்வளவு செலவாகும் மெடிக்கல், அதை பத்தி ஒரு வார்த்தை கூட கேட்கல. இமீடியட்டா அட்மிட் ஆகணும், அட்மிட் ஆகிட்டோம். உடனே ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் ஸ்டார்ட் ஆயிடுச்சு. உடனே மெடிசன் சொல்லி உடனே ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் ஆயிடுச்சு. சார் வந்து எல்லாத்தையும் ஸ்கேன் எல்லாத்தையும் பார்த்து ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் உடனே இன்ஜெக்ஷன் குளுக்கோஸ் அதுல ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் அந்த மெடிசன் எல்லாம் போட்டு ஸ்டார்ட் ஆயிட்டு அன்னில இருந்து அப்படியே ஒரு குழந்தை போல பார்த்துருந்தாங்க என்னுடைய மகனை. அது வந்து என்ன சொல்றது, அவரு கடவுளை எல்லாம் பார்த்துக்கிறீங்களா, கடவுளை பார்த்துக்கிறீங்களான்னு. நான் கடவுளை பார்த்தேன். டாக்டர் கிரீஷ் சார் தான் கண்ணால கண்ட கடவுள். ஆன்மீகத்துல இருக்கிறேன்.
I think that is a response, of a spontaneous response to the parent, and that these sort of responses will give a lot of relaxation. Here is another patient who had a cerebellar infarction in the back of the brain. He was walking with an unsteady gait, and he recovered very well, and he came back for a checkup. And you just see him spontaneously, he has written. I had unsteadiness in gait, and I was admitted in Padma Clinic and Nursing Home under the eminent Dr. Girish, neurophysician and surgeon. I was looked after very well by all the doctors at the nursing home. I had a hemorrhagic infarction of the cerebellum, which my doctor explained to me and gave the best care for me. Nurses were very kind to me. Nurses took special attention in feeding me through the rice tube. I specifically thank the Dr. Balaji, who used to frequently come to my room and inquire my health. Sweta nurse was extremely good. Mr. Ashok used to visit my room every day and ask about whether the room has been cleaned or not. And I also like the physiotherapy which has been given by Mr. Guru. And he himself personally, Dr. Girish personally actually supervised the physiotherapy. Today, on the 11th Feb 2022, I had come for review and I'm walking very well normally, eating normally without rice tube. The hospital ambience and cleanliness are very good. And I continue the personalized attention that is given to the patient. These are the small things, the satisfaction that the patient gives, when they come and tell you, I tell you what are all the sacrifices and tensions you had, everything will melt like an ice. The other thing is a clinician, I told you, where I got satisfied. The other is a research. I have gone to international Perth, Western Australia, International Institute of Paraplegia, presented there, brain tumors and tuberous sclerosis with Dr. Kanu, which somebody was talking here, on tuberous sclerosis, brain tuberculomas, controversies in management, composite care of brain trauma, and analysis of 3,500 cases in Nagoya, low-grade glioma, management modalities in medical neurology and neurosurgery for past 10 years. So these are some of the research projects which I have done. I have also done certain research in complementary medicine like acupuncture. Then as a teacher, I was very satisfied because all along when I was in the Institute of Neurology as a professor, my earlier PG students in neurosurgery are presently heading the units in the Institute of Neurology. All of them are heading, my students. So a teacher becomes very happy when the students excel the teacher. That is the happiness I have today. And when I was 8 years, when I was the associate dean in SRM, again, I motivated the students. I know my MBBS students who further went to become community medicine specialists, orthopedic specialists, neurosurgery. One of them has very recently joined last week in Ramchandra Medical College, Dr. Balasubramanian. He came to me after paying the fees. He rang me up and said, I want your blessing, doctor. Your motivated speech that day which you gave, the day when I joined, made world of a difference in my life. Emmanuel Ozumelam from Nigeria. He had a lot of personal issues and he took both MLT and MPH. And he was another person whom I had motivated so much. So, these are the things. Always in the doctor's life, 25 to 35, you take all your fellowships. 35 to 50, you do what you can say, a lot of activity, you practice your profession. 50, you want to can say almost 60, you do something innovative and train your patients, the persons in your specialty. And 60 and beyond, guide the future generation of doctors. Accordingly, I have guided them. And you can see what Emmanuel Ozumelam, who has finished his MPH, and now he is in Canada after finishing MLT and MPH.
My name is Emmanuel Ozumelam.
His
I'm a student
testimonial.
of XRM University, Chennai, here in India. My nativity, I'm actually from Nigeria, the eastern part of Nigeria, precisely Imo State, Okigwe. I just want to share my experience with my dear doctor, Dr. Girish. My experience in the sense that how my coming to India, how he assisted me in making my coming to India a worthwhile. One, I want to begin by saying that he actually assisted me in so many areas on helping me on how to come out with academic excellence, a good academic grade. Secondly, I also want to talk about how he actually helped me health-wise, because for so long, I've actually been having some health challenges. But the advices and the tips he gave to me actually helped me to stay healthy.
Because of his slang, he was looked down upon by his colleagues.
Thirdly, how he equally assisted me financially when I was actually in need. Okay, now academically wise, when I came to India, knowing that the mode of this academic schedule of Nigerians and Indians are actually not the same. I it was actually needful that I meet someone that should guide me on how to read, not just only reading, but how to equally write my exams and come out with good grades. So on meeting him, he actually helped me. He actually gave me some tips on how to answer my questions, actually how to go about answering my questions in case I'm presented with
I guided him, in fact, make a timetable for himself, and he did it.
He actually also helped me, basically health-wise. I've actually been having some health challenges.
He did have health issues.
Now, relating it to him, he actually took it upon himself as not just only a doctor, but a father, so to say. He actually helped me and prescribed some other medications that I should take in order for me to stay healthier and face my academic schedule squarely. I'm also grateful to him for that. Now, financially wise, there have been so many times when I was in need financially. I met him and he actually assisted me. So, in summary, what I just want to point out is that it's in that
he was such a sincere person. He borrows a small amount and returns back in the next week
I
itself.
just want to point out that our relationship with people matters a lot. It goes a long way to help us. In that, if we are lucky enough to get people that are actually friends, actually people that can actually have the minds, people that actually have the minds of helping individuals indeed. In fact, in some ways, he actually helped me. And that is why I return to say a very big thank you to Dr. Girish. I'm very grateful. Thank you.
So that is and as an administrator, so I told you about a clinician, how I got satisfied. I told you as a researcher, how I got satisfied. As a teacher, I told you how I got satisfied. As an administrator, I had been through various accreditations. I helped NABH accreditation, UGC inspection, MCI inspection. I have assisted almost for 60. So as an administrator, I had really, what you can say, did a lot of work. And the next one, and the most important is, this is the World Bioethics Day, which we celebrated, where we had around 5,000 students and delegates from all over India, as well as from outside India. And we had around 11 vice chancellors attending this conference. And the third thing I have said about the clinician, I have told about the researcher, I have told about the teacher, and also in community service, I was a leader. The leader in community service, there are two programs which I used to do, and I would like you all to know about it. One is the Be Careful Prevention Program. The other is the health camps. The Be Careful Prevention Program is akin to the Think First Prevention Program of US. Now, this program, I used to go personally to all the colleges and advise the students to wear a helmet when they ride a two-wheeler. Very, very important, because the young students, they are rash and aggressive in their driving. And if they meet an accident, they are not only a burden to their family, but also to the society and themselves. So it is my job as a neurosurgeon to go beyond the call of the boundaries, or beyond the call of, or beyond the four walls, and step into the community to give them the advice. And this was a program which I adopted. Be Careful Prevention Program. Be careful when you walk. Be careful when you ride a vehicle. Be careful when you swim. Be careful when you ride any form of vehicle. For it's better to be careful 1,000 times than being killed once. Phase 1 is the definition at which I will be talking on phase 1. All the consequences, what happens if a head injures. And phase 2, there are 2 or 3 individuals who will have what you can say head injury and who have escaped the jaws of death. They will come and tell what exactly happened to them. And this is one such. And then a short movie will be shown, phase 3 and phase 4. Crutches and wheelchairs will be kept. They will be made to experience how life will be after head injury. This is exactly what you see. And there will be a pledge will be taken. All this will be in a matter of 1 hour. And I have done to more than 1 to 1.5 lakh college students have done. And regularly, I have been doing it for all the newly inducted students in SRM University when I was there. So these are the safety programs, crutches on wheelchairs, and explain to them. And this is in certain colleges where I have taken. This is again SRM College. Yes. And this is of the 5,000 audience. See, 7,000 is their students, 3,500 to 4,000 induction program they have. I make them take a road safety pledge on that particular day of admission. Apart from this Be Careful Prevention Program, as a part of community service, beyond the call of duty, what I have been doing is health camps. That is giving the latest advice by a super specialist.
Doctor,
I'm just finishing, Praveen.
Okay, sir. Okay.
And these are the health camps which I have organized. you can actually see as a doctor, you also will have what to do beyond the call of duty. Reach out to the poor people, which every one of you, I want what you can say, do in future, those who are taking the medical profession. See, these are the various camps done in various issues. I've been part of the Lionistic program. I've been part of the Rotary program. I've been a president of a club. I've been a zone chairman. I've been a region chairman. I've been a vice district governor. I've been a district governor for 324A5 and for Chennai. And also I have been a multiple council chairperson for the 4 southern states. And you can see here, see the various camps what I have organized. Now, service and friendship are the 2 big mottos of the Lions organization. And we have been doing what you can see, service very, very regularly. And you can see for senior citizens being carried out. And I'd like every one of the youngsters who are actually what you can say, you utilize your time beyond the call of duty. See that you serve the senior citizens. This is Be the Leader in Your Street program, where we clean our own street. This is for the floods in what you can say in Kerala, what we gave. This is for the cancer patients we are giving. This is the tree sapling plantation Pool Mother Earth program. This was the reception what the Lions eyes received in Vijayawada. And you can see here, and this is the latest. This is a patient of mine. This person who is standing here, he had a big brain tumor posteriorly, was operated, doing well, and he came back and saw me. We gave him 2 some nerve drinks actually for him. And this is the International Association of Lions Clubs. You can see I'm the International President's Chair, and I have been chosen as the best governor of the 750 governors of the world at that time. This was about 2010. So this is, my dear youngsters, as a clinician, I have told you what was the satisfaction I had. As a researcher, what is the satisfaction I had. As a teacher, what satisfaction I had. As an administrator, what satisfaction I had. As a leader in the community service, what I had. And as a parent too, I had molded my children. Of course, my wife was there all through to see that they have what you can say molded, and they are in the places where they are now. Dr. Kannan Girish and Dr. Prashant Girish. Now, I want to show this as the last slide, which every one of you should repeat this. And this is what I have been doing. Before going to bed and getting up in the morning, this positive affirmation. You can condition your brain. You know, that was Pavlov's technique. That is, a bell was rung and you find food was given to the dog. Second day, bell was rung, food given to the dog. Third day, the dog's brain got conditioned. Same way, you can actually condition and make your brain under your control. Do these positive affirmations every day. You have got to repeat it. I have immense self-confidence. I will be responsible for my decision and actions. I can learn anything easily. I have a very good memory. I can achieve my goal. There is a genius within me. I perform my best in all exams and all challenging situations. I am completely in control of my life. I will succeed in accomplishing whatever task that is assigned to me. I will respect everybody and communicate well. I'll be polite, honest, and a person with integrity. I'll be altruistic and serve all with compassion and empathy. I will constantly update my knowledge. I will think positively and I will embrace the change. I will respect my family members and look after them well. I'll respect my teachers and colleagues. I'll maintain my good health. I will become a far excellent professional. If it is a doctor. This positive affirmation, I would like every one of you next generation to repeat it before going to bed and when you get up in the morning. And success is yours. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
So much
Thank you
for sharing all your experiences, sir.
Your valuable time, sir. Sir, I asked you a question that it was hard to become a neurosurgeon. Then why you, even though knowing that it was hard, why you choose the career as a neurosurgeon? The hardship that you face, the barriers that you cross, and the sacrifices which you have made, are the appreciation, the patience which you give is the God's gift for you, sir. Never stop the driving force which that kept you going. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. In the
Now,
presentation,
I want
which
you
you showed,
people, when you get into the medical profession, you must also think about the future. You know, there is going to be a remedy for cancer therapy, which I think you budding people will be doing it. You know, they got a Nobel Prize for that 2018. That is for James Allison and Tezuko Honjo. Please read about it. You know, your cancer cell is inside your body, but your immune system is not attacking it because the cancer cell is evading it. So they have found out the factors which the cancer cell is evading. They have removed that. Immune system can kill it. Very soon, there'll be light at the end of the tunnel. I think Sean or Ashwin, or it may be Angelina or Aditi or any one of you, can in fact future think about this, and they can do. AI is getting into, nanotechnology is getting into. You must have a wider view of all this. Artificial intelligence, how it is going to invade the healthcare. VR, virtual reality, how it is going to invade the healthcare. And also, you will find invading into the healthcare is a nanotechnology. So all these things are there for you for the future. Thank you. Thank you very much, my dear students,
Sure,
for this
sir.
patient listening. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Your
Thank you so much.
presentation showed that you are an all-round and eminent
Thank
personality who is proficient as a doctor, a teacher, an administrator, and a researcher, and also a community service leader, which prove that you are a pride of our society today, sir. We promise to learn from you, sir, and repeat all those positive affirmations every day in the morning and in the night. And we will work apart from a call of duty to be a doctor and also a socially responsible person, also like you, sir. You are indeed a motivation for all of us, sir. Thank you so much for sharing your experiences, sir. The way you explain about the conditions to the patient's family also, it can be seen through the videos of the testimonies which you showed to us, sir. The way you keep patients in front of everything else in this world is indeed a great inspiration to all of us here, sir, who are all inspiring doctors. A heartfelt thanks to you, sir. Thank you so much for patiently answering all our questions, sir. We rarely get to see such a humble and dynamic personality who remains grounded even after reaching so many heights, sir. Thank you so much for your motivation and your wishes. This means a lot to us. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Sean. Undoubtedly. Thank you very much, sir.
Put your comments on the
I
chat.
Sir, as you
Angelina,
said, we will explore the ocean of medicine as well as neurology and fulfill the population of doctors as well as neurosurgeons in our country, sir. Thank you for your motivation, sir, and for your participation. This session is a memory that we will treasure, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Praveen. Thank you,
Angelina,
Praveen.
you wanted to finish? Angelina, you were saying something? Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
yes, coach.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for the wonderful
Thank you
session.
very much, sir. I, Angelina Joel, deem it a great privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this memorable occasion. My warm greetings to everyone present here. I start by giving glory to God for making today's occasion a grand success. First and foremost, I thank our special guest, Dr. K. Girish, who, despite his busy schedule, has honored the occasion and found time to bestow inspiring thoughts on behalf of the students. On behalf of the students, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to both school management and Live Life Education for providing us this immense opportunity. I'm very much obliged to Live Life Education for their words of encouragement, able enlightenment, and continued support to help make this event a grand achievement. My heartfelt thanks to the principals of both the school, Mrs. Mary Vasantakumari and Mrs. Meena Mehta, for their valuable contribution, guidance, and motivation in all our efforts. It is an astounding fact that this event was organized from scratch by the students of both schools. Big thanks to all the students who synergized and worked proactively to accomplish this great task behind the scene. Finally, I thank the audience for participating in the event and made it a resounding success. Once again, I thank you all. We request all the participants to attend the questionnaire to get a certificate of participation whose link is posted in the chat box. Thank you all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Angelina. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking
Angelina.
your
Thank
time
you.
and coming, sir. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so as Angelina has mentioned, I'm going to paste the link. You all can actually go to that link, students, and there will be a couple of questions, very simple questions. Just answer those, fill up the form, and your certificate will automatically be emailed to you when you fill up that entire form. Yes. So yeah, you can find your certificate in your emails once you fill up the form. Here's the link. You all can actually go to this link, fill it up, and you'll get your certificates. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so I would like to end this session with beautiful post credits that Dun has created. I would like to share the screen. These are the amazing set of students who have come in together and made this event possible. So this slide is for you. Students have created this for you. Thank you
Oh,
everyone
good.
for participating, and thank you, Dr. Girish, for your valuable time. And yeah, students, the organizing team included, as I have mentioned, Sean, Felicia, Arjun, Kavin, Srinath, Aditi, Janita, Angelina, and Trilochna from Enbritos. And we have Dhun, Enya, Shreya, Gomti, Mahima, Vishwas, Ashwath, Ishana, Kavish, Krish, Pawan, Sushil, and Naman from Kola Saraswati. So amazing, guys. Thank you so much for this, making this happen. I would like to have all the entire organizing team on the video so that everyone can see them. Can you all come on the screen? Yes. These are the amazing set of leaders who have actually made it happen. Sir, 14 days back, the students started actually planning for the event.
Very good.
They're the ones who actually invited all the students. They created invitation flyers. They created invitation videos. They were the ones who actually approached you. And this entire event was actually conceptualized, organized, and conducted by the students. So yeah, thank you. Thank you.
It deserves special applause.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you so much, sir.
Wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, sir. This means a lot to us.
Thank you, sir, for this opportunity.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. So with this, we come to the end. I wish you all the best and keep coming to the guiding light programs. We'll keep having more and more guests coming in. We'll be covering a wide area of careers, including now today it was medical. We'll be having everything, right from engineering to law to even gamers. We'll be inviting gamers, animators, people from the metaverse, NFTs, whatnot, all the contemporary, all the regular type of professions, every kind of profession. You'll be seeing people here. And if you are interested to take up these leaderships, I can say you can actually approach your school people. If you are from Britos, you can approach Purnima ma'am. If you are from Kola Saraswati, you can approach Sri Priya ma'am. And you can also participate in the organizing team next time. Thank you so much. With this, goodbye. See you all. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, coach.
We
have a celebration
tomorrow.
Thank you, coach.
Thank you, coach.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you, coach.
Thank you so much, coach.
Okay, one last thing. People who want, okay, Nakul is saying mind map. People who want the mind map, please send an email to me. My email is here. You can mail me and I'll send you the mind map. If you're interested, just send me a mail. I'll send you the mind map. Okay. My mail is praveencoach1@gmail.com. This is my email. You can actually send me, just say mind map for career exploration medical theme. That's it. And I'll send you the mind map for this particular topic. Yeah. This is my email ID. Sorry. Yeah.
Thank you,
I hope
coach.
all of you get it. Yeah. This is my email ID. Take a note. Anyone is interested, mail. Okay. Bye-bye. Ta-da. Thank you.
Thank you.